Hello, I'm Demetria Miles-McDonald, the founder and CEO of Decide Diversity and the creator of the Table of Diversity. The question that I'm going to answer today, who has used the Table of Diversity? And I get to do my little dance because this is something I am just thrilled to talk about because it's so completely out of left field that I never imagined that it would happen. I did not anticipate that it would happen, and I still get goosebumps as I'm talking about it. So first, the Table of Diversity has been seen, downloaded, viewed by thousands and thousands of people around the world. Now, that right there is just, it's a mind-blowing, mind-numbing, just thing to think about. Because if you recall from my previous videos, I created the Table of Diversity for me. I mean, the fact that other people wanted it was a shock and surprise to me. So that has just been an amazing thing to think about, is that there are thousands of people, not just in the United States, but around the world, who have found value in the Table of Diversity and have utilized it within their sphere of influence. So I love that. I want to answer this question on an organizational scale. So back in 2020, or 2019, 2020, I received an email from someone who said, "Hey, I used to live in Tennessee. I'm actually from Iceland. I now am back in Iceland, and our prime minister wants to do some work around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like, our prime minister is very serious about this and, wants to be more intentional about it." And so I said, "Cool, how can I help?" And the person I was communicating with said, "We love your Table of Diversity. Like, can we create an Icelandic version?" And I'm like, "What? Like, you want to create an Icelandic version of the Table of Diversity?" And I was like, "We need to get on a call because the fact first that you used to live in Tennessee and I'm in Kentucky and you found me via Google, like, what are the odds of that happening?" And so we ended up getting on a call, and I'll have to find the picture, and if I can, I'll put it here. But we ended up getting on a call and talking about the work that they're doing in Iceland, the work that I'm doing, in the United States. And she was like, "I think this would be an amazing tool to translate, and not just from a language perspective, but also culturally, because things are different, right? In different countries. Things were different in Iceland than they are in the United States." And so I had just the immense honor and privilege to work with the Icelandic Chamber of Commerce. There were some local experts, professors from universities, to really ensure that the Icelandic version of the Table of Diversity did all the things that the westernized United States version of the Table of Diversity was intended to do. So, expand our definition of diversity. Does it include those aspects of diversity that we come to expect to be part of the conversation? But does it also include those other things that maybe we don't think about as often, or we're not as intentional around when we're operationalizing DEI in the form of policies, programs, initiatives, so on and so forth? So that was super exciting. And to see the final result of that was, it was out of this world. And so that was one instance in 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, that, the Table of Diversity was really its first time going international. And like I said, I thought that was an experience that was out of this world. And that was up until 2023, when I got an email from NASA. I mean, really, NASA, talk about out of this world. And I ended up partnering with NASA for a year to create a NASA version of the Table of Diversity. And that was really out of this world, to work with them to better understand their language and culture, to create that version. And there are other versions of the table of diversity that are slated to be created. Folks are always reaching out and saying, hey, can we create a Canadian version? Can we create a Spanish version? I've even had some folks say, hey, can we create a kids version of the table of diversity? And so all of those things are in the lineup to be created, plus more, and to really ensure that, again, there's science that's behind it, there's data points that we can connect to it, that it is representative of our current state, but also pushes the line for how we should be thinking about diversity and people and equity, and to do all of those things. And so that's been exciting too. So yeah, I mean, the table of diversity has been everywhere. If you want to see the Icelandic version of the table of diversity and the NASA version of the table of diversity, first you have to get the original, the OG table of diversity. You can get that from tableofdiversity.com. It's completely free. And then we'll make sure that you can see a version of each of those. And, you know, all the versions that we have coming up, you'll have access to. So join me here so that you can continue to get some behind the scenes information about the table of diversity, and hear what's coming up next. Again, my name is Demetria Miles-McDonald. I'm the founder and CEO of Decide Diversity and the creator of the Table of Diversity. Get the Table of Diversity and then meet me back here. I will see you then. Bye.